Did you ever make paper heart chains when you were a girl in school? That's kind of the idea behind this template. This one is in my monthly Bible Quilt Journal, and that's what I'm going to be working on today. But there's also a download for just a regular one, and this one is sized for the original Bible Quilt Journal. So you could use either one of these. First of all, you're going to need to trace this heart shape, or you can put the paper down on a copier and just do a corner of it so you have that shape of the heart, because what you want to do is to focus on that inside heart shape. And once you've got it traced or copied, then go ahead and cut it out. It's easier to cut around the outside first. You may decide to use that for something else later. So then you want to cut on the inside. This is going to become your pattern. Doesn't have to be perfect, just get it on there. So then you've got that pattern to do. And then next, take some fun pattern paper. Hobby Lobby, Michael's sells these types of little books that will have a bunch of patterns in it. And what I like about these is often they are complementary colors and patterns that you can mix and match, which works perfect for our quilting. These are just some scraps that I had available, and they may have even come from the same little notebook because they are complementary colors. And so these are the ones I'm going to use today. Even though we're doing this page in February and we might think it's going to be all Valentine's, I wanted something that was a little bit more neutral. So next is to use your heart that you cut out, and we're going to use that as a pattern to cut out a bunch of hearts, depending on what your colors that you chose. Now I have all of my hearts glued down, and I'm ready to Bible quilt some verses and phrases. Since I have picked some decorative papers that are going to be hard to write on, I'm not going to pack a lot of words on there that will be hard to read. So this page is going to be more for a pretty quilt-like page. So I decided I would try some stamps and see if that would work with the patterns that I have. So I have a few stamps with love on them, and I'm going to just play around with them and see which ones fit into these little hearts. I have this God is Love, and I went ahead and I just experimented a little bit with it on this paper, so I think I'm going to go for that with a pink pad here. Stamping is a little tricky, but don't be afraid of it. Especially for this, if we mess up, then we can just put another heart over it and try again. But that's my backup plan for this. what I have learned through stamping is you want to go straight up and down whenever you do stamp. And I'm just making sure that I've got it well coated. I always use it on a piece of scratch paper first, which you can't see. There we go. Another way to tell is if it's really glossy and shiny on the lettering, that means you've gotten it on there. And basically by just focusing on pressing it down and straight up, is it minimizes, you know, all the outer part of it. So I got most of the phrase on there, but not the reference. So what I may do is use washi tape over that, and then I'll come back and write the verse reference with a marker, so I'll be able to see it, because that's really tiny on the edge. Okay, so we got lucky with that one. Now let's see, I have this one that is Faith, Hope, and Love. So I'm going to try that one, and I think I'm going to go with a darker red. That pink was a little light, but I needed that big stamp pad. Okay, this is a little more red. So when you're stamping it on your pad, if you rock it back and forth, you will get most of it on there. And then I'm going to do it with this one here, I think. Faith, Hope, and Love. Here we go. Press firmly and then straight up. And let's see what else. So I've got this big one that has love on it. And because these purple floral ones are going to be the hardest to see, I think I'm going to choose black. And do one of those. That one already has love by it, so perhaps I'll just do that one there. I'm going to do that in black, so it will hopefully show up a little bit. Okay, that is not a very juicy ink pad, so it's coming out really faded. But I don't have a black one in here, so we're just going to go for it. And it may just be more of a charcoal gray. Muted is what we'll go for. And again, you can see it's just kind of shiny, so it looks like it's all on there. And again, you're just going to kind of lower it down, press firmly, and straight back up. And again, a modification I might make is this, the stamp doesn't have a real, it's a lowercase L, and it doesn't come across there. So what I could do, if I wanted to accentuate that, I can just bring out that lower leg of the L. Okay, so these are the standard stamps that are on these blocks, and it's kind of hit or miss. I just kind of hold my breath as I press those down, because I can't see them. That's kind of why I like these acrylics, because they are clear and you can see where they are going to come down. This one has never been used, so it is on there really good. Okay. That means it's going to stick really, really well to my acrylic block, right? Okay. So here's an acrylic block, and basically this is how you're going to press it down on the flat side, and then it will, you'll be able to see it, like wherever you decide to press it down. And I think I'm going to put it over here, because that'll just kind of balance out what I have stamped, and then what I'm going to try to go back through and do with hand lettering. And again, I think I'm going to go with black just because of the busyness of that paper. And on these acrylics, what I like about it, you can tell that you've got it on there and you can press it exactly where you want. Another trick to stamping, if you go a little off center, then it looks purposeful. Get my washi tape out of the way. And again, just press straight down. I am hitting my spiral over there. So hopefully that worked, and it did not. Okay, so we're going to try that again. Another thing with this is you can move it to a different part of the block, and see if I come down this way, then that spiral is not going to get in my way. So this is how we're going to problem solve. Let me get that paper. And I do not have another one of those already cut out, so I'm just going to cut out another one of those. This is why I like the time-lapse videos that I have shared with you before. It's because it speeds this process up, because nobody wants to watch me cut out hearts. Okay. So as I'm doing this, I'm realizing if you wanted to stamp all your hearts and make sure that they're how you like them first, then you could glue them on the page after that. And you would have the option here. If it's not glued down, you could even pull that up off your page. But I glued that really well, so I'm just going to leave it. And I'm going to glue this on real quick. Okay. And we try again. So I'm going to re-stamp this. I'm going to practice. So that is pretty clear. And here we go again. So this time I'm not hitting the spiral. There we go. So another tip, I noticed as I was pressing that down that I got something a little bumpy in another page. So when you're stamping, probably the safer bet is to have it down flat, and then that way you can feel that there's nothing underneath there. Sometimes we get tabs or other embellishments that we've put in there, and it's added some bulk to our pages. Okay, so now I'm going to look up some scriptures and decide how I'm going to finish this out with verses. I did a combination of hand lettering, adding some stickers that had love, and I just happened to have some of these cutouts from a project that Audra and I did a couple of years ago, so I just decided to do those on the green. Didn't intentionally have it that way, but I just kind of wanted to balance out the page. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this one yet, and I have learned through this process, if I'm not really sure, then I'll just wait. And the next time I come back and I look at this page, I might have a better insight, or I might just decide to leave it blank so the eye can be drawn to the other parts of it. So at this point, I have done a combination of papers and colored pencil around the outside and stamping and stickers. So I just need to do the background. For the background, I decided to do a patchwork quilt effect and basically divided my page into quadrants so then I could go through with my colors and just put them on a loose pattern and use the same color palettes that I already had in the decorative papers. I didn't obsess too much about if it was evenly lined up because I realized that my template is kind of off center anyway. And again, we're just looking at the overall effect and making it look quilty. And to finalize it, I just did this little zigzag stitch and decided to do it all the way around. And I think that is just the finishing touch to pull it all together. So there you have it. I hope you enjoy that, and I encourage you to try it on your own.